Hey everybody, I'm Jesse, and welcome to another edition of Gen X Thinks. And today I'm going to talk about dire wolves. I don't know if y'all heard it, but there's some company, I think it's out of Texas, has brought back the dire wolf. They cloned some dire wolves or something. And there's some kind of argument about whether they're actually dire wolves because they had to use some of the DNA or some kind of genetic material from the gray wolf to make it. So that's up for debate a little bit there, I guess. But the overall thing is that they brought back this ancient species, right, that was extinct. And my question now is, what are they going to do with it? I mean, it's cool. It's awesome. Don't get me wrong. It's cool as hell. Got dire wolves. That's a really cool thing. But when I look back throughout my life and I remember all these examples of where people have introduced a foreign species into a habitat, and it's completely destructive. It drives many other species to extinction. It destroys the habitat a lot of times. It's destructive to the land. And this kind of stuff has always bothered me. You know, like I think Australia is just overrun with cats. I think, you know, just regular house cats. They let those things loose, and now they're destroying a lot of species, you know, smaller animals and shit. So, and we have that stuff all over the place in the United States too. Where foreign species have been introduced into a natural habitat and just taken over the place. So just knowing that history of this is happening around the world, they would be absolute fools to release these damn things, these dire wolves, into the wild. So they can't do that. It's just stupid for anybody to suggest that. I don't know. I don't know what line of thought where you'd be coming from there to think that would be a good thing. So let's take that off the table. They're not going to introduce them into the wild because that would just be the epitome of foolishness. So what are they going to do with these things? They're going to, I guess this is a for-profit company. So I would assume that they're going to want to sell these things, right? They make these dire wolves and they're going to sell them. I guess maybe to zoos or something, or to billionaires. I don't know who'd be in the market for, you know, a $250,000 dire wolf or whatever. I don't know how much they cost. I just threw that number out there. But, you know, it's going to be insane. It's going to be something stupid. Maybe 2.5 million per wolf. I don't know. But it's going to be something crazy up there. So these things are going to live in cages. They just clone these things to be pets or something and live in cages their entire lives. That doesn't sit well with me either. You know, I'm not real sure what the purpose was to bring them back. Besides just, you know, the fact that we're doing it because we can type of thing. And I don't think that's a good enough reason to do something. Honestly, I just don't agree with it. So nature selected that thing for extinction, and it's probably better off left alone. I don't know. This is just my opinion on the matter. I don't know that we should be, not from a religious standpoint or anything, I don't think we should be screwing around with Mother Nature like that. Because we've all seen Jurassic Park. I mean, come on. That shit does not bode well. We've got Jurassic Park warning us about manipulating DNA and bringing back animals from the past. We've got Terminator warning us about AI and robots and shit, and we're just chugging right along into these dystopian apocalyptic nightmares. So I don't know how how far away it is in the future, but it definitely looks like something's headed our way. You know what I'm saying? But they might end up slicing out some kind of preserve or reserve for these things and trying to keep them in. But I don't know. The stuff eventually gets out, you know. Yeah, trying to keep complete control on a living organism like that. I've never seen it work, not out in nature. And then just the fact that they pump so much money into this, you know, because this, I mean, think about it. It's not a small thing. It's not a cheap thing to do. So they pumped, I don't know how many millions upon millions of dollars into this venture of bringing extinct animals back to life. And how is that going to help the world? How is it going to help humanity? I'd rather see him spend that money cleaning up the ocean and inventing new shit to help people and to fix the economies around the world and give people better lives. That's my personal opinion. But sometimes the hubris of people, the hubris of mankind, just really hits me in the face. How some people now just want to do shit like this. And not that I'm completely against it. It might turn out to be a great thing. I don't know. I get that a lot. Like some people trying to say that I'm wrong and I my opinion's wrong. And I don't know. I don't know. That's all I'm saying. I don't know. I don't know. There are a lot of people making podcasts and shit, pretending to be experts. The only thing I'm an expert on is how much I don't know, which is almost everything. And every expert, so-called, is, they don't know. How can you be an expert on something that the human mind can't even comprehend, let alone evaluate and manipulate and touch and study and all this stuff? We can't even interact with a lot of these ideas that people claim to be experts on. And I'm just saying, I don't know. Just flat out, I don't know. All I have is ideas, and I have questions. And I have questions about this direwolf thing. The maybe not this specific thing, the whole, bringing back the specific direwolf. That might turn out to be okay or whatever, or not harmful. Maybe it'll just be a big nothing burger. But the idea of doing this genetic thing and cloning and bringing back extinct species and all this stuff, it just leads me down the road of if they can do that, what are and they're telling us about it, what are they doing that they're not telling us about? Because one thing I do firmly believe is that our government and these billion-dollar corporations and shit, they're doing stuff behind the scenes, shady ass stuff that we don't even know. And they don't tell us for a reason. They don't tell us because we'd raise hell about it, because it's straight up evil. They shouldn't be doing it. It's bad. So yeah, that, how many of these people walking around now are clones? We don't know. Obviously, it's possible. If they can clone a damn direwolf, then they can clone a person or, anything else. Probably they can clone the aliens that they have in Area 51. When they torture that one to death, they just make a new one. Clone him and make a new one. So, yeah, that kind of stuff just that raises all kinds of questions in my mind about what else is going on, what else is happening that we don't know about. Because I can almost guarantee you that there is some shit that's going on that we don't know about. If they can do this, then they're doing it. They're just using this technology in ways that we don't know about. And I don't know how, and then you get into the question of transference of consciousness and stuff. Because if let's say somebody came up to me and said, hey, Jesse, we'll make you a clone, we'll make a clone for you, and then you can live forever or another 500 years or whatever, you know what I'm saying? But how would they transfer my consciousness into that clone? How would I still be me? Or would I be a clone of me? What would happen when my body dies? My original body. And that kind of stuff. So, yeah, I've got so many questions about that kind of stuff. And what kind of moral implications all this stuff has. Is it okay to clone things? Is it okay to manipulate DNA and come up with these new species? I mean, how many new species are they? I say new because this direwolf thing isn't technically a direwolf, okay? Because like I mentioned earlier, it's got gray wolf, whatever, DNA particles or whatever in it. It's mixed with a gray wolf somehow. I'm not claiming to be an expert on it, but that's from what I understand. That's what it is. So this new thing, how many of these new things are they going to make before one of them turns out to be a bad decision? Oops, we shouldn't have done that shit. You know what I'm saying? This thing is loose. I don't know what's happening. Call the National Guard, that type of situation, that type of scenario. Or this thing, there are so many different ways that shit can go bad. And the more they do this, the higher the chances are that one of these experiments is going to turn out bad. Bad for themselves, bad for all of humanity. Maybe even bad for the earth, So, yeah, it's a real sticky situation there. And that's disregarding all of the religious implications and stuff. I'm not even talking about any of that stuff. I'm just talking about physical here in the real world, bringing these animals back that we don't know nothing about. Literally, we know nothing. They made the damn thing and it came out and it was white and everybody was surprised. Oh, we didn't know it was white. Okay, what else didn't you know about this damn thing? And like I said, the dire wolves are probably going to be fine. And okay, you're going to sell some to zoos or whatever. Great. No big deal. They'll make great couch pets, let them lounge on your couch. I'm a billionaire. I got a dire wolf, that kind of thing. Right? Okay, great. This one probably will be absolutely nothing. It'll be a fantastic little thing for super rich people to impress their friends with, and it'll be awesome. Great for them. But what about the next one? Or the next one? Or the next one? What happens when one goes wrong? What happens when, when one, no telling, there's so many variations. What happens when one of these animals grows 10 times its size in a week and just busts out of the facility? You don't know what the hell is going to, you don't know what kind of traits these things have. You don't know what is going on with these things. This direwolf, yeah, they got pretty cute pictures of direwolf puppies and stuff, and they're looking cute just like a regular dog puppy. And 5 months later, the thing weighs over 80 pounds. Okay. And okay, that's not that big a deal. And a little surprising that it's that big at 5 months old. But, we knew they were bigger. So not a real surprise there. But what happens when one, one's a little baby, it's a little cute baby, and you go home and go to sleep and come back and there's a big hole in the damn wall. You know what I'm saying? And is then torn through the damn building and exited because it grew overnight or some shit. It just, the variations are limitless. And the variations, they could be good too. They could be good. Maybe, you wake up and the things invented the cure for cancer or some shit, when you get back to the lab. You don't know. But the possibilities are insane for what different things might occur from this shit. And you're flipping a coin. Honestly, you're flipping a coin to take chances like that for just because we can type of situation. I'm just not like that. But I'm not a gambler. I mean, I like to gamble. Don't get me wrong. But I'll go. I'll go to the Hard Rock Cafe once in a while and blow $100 just for fun. But I'm just not I'm not big into gambling. I'm not a gambler. So some people are. Some people like that shit. That's cool. But that seems like what that is to me. That's a gamble. And you're gambling with quite a bit, though. You're gambling with the future of the world with that shit. And once you have this technology, and I watched the guy talking, and he said they open source the technology, so any company can replicate what they do. That there, in one way, that's a good thing because you want to be able to help species and stuff, especially ones that have gone extinct in our lifetimes, right? What if the blue whale went extinct? We would want to bring it back, try to get it back into the wild. So stuff like that. But what if a bad actor got a hold of that shit? What if some lunatic in a lab somewhere, decided to bring back some really crazy shit, just like Jurassic Park? What if, but instead of being out on an island where, it's isolated, what if they did that shit in, I don't know, Kansas or something? And those things just started tearing through the United States. You don't know this kind of shit. So, yeah, I don't know. The whole idea of it doesn't sit well with me. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm completely wrong. Maybe I'm way off base. It's just a gut feeling that this is, except for, the little part of me that hopes for the apocalypse. I'm cheering him on. That Jesse's cheering him on. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go for it, buddy. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. That's just another apocalypse added to the list of my apocalypses, my possible apocalypses that I'm rooting for. Yeah, now we've got a direwolf apocalypse. So that kind of stuff is on my mind. Where is this going to go? Because as we've seen in the past, all these technologies, they have gone off in directions that we never would have guessed. When the internet first started, we never would have guessed we'd be here with the internet. And when, cell phones were first invented, we never believed that we would have a high-powered computer in our pockets with GPS and all this other shit, you know what I mean? And gaming, all these high-powered AAA games right in our pocket, on our little screen, be able to watch AAA movies right on our phone and all this shit. No, nobody ever would have guessed that stuff when these technologies first came out. Facebook was neat. Look at it now, and all this, just all these different technologies that come out, and how their path through time, right? We never would have seen where they would end up. And we don't know where they're going to end up now. What's Facebook going to be like in 2050? What's the internet going to be like in 2050? What are cell phones going to be like in 2050? Are we just going to roll our cell phones up the size of a cigar and put them in our pocket, when we're done? Or are they just going to be integrated into glasses so we don't even carry them anymore? We just wear them on our face. Where's that technology going to go? We have no idea. And the same thing with this direwolf shit. The same thing with this DNA manipulation cloning thing. Where is this technology going to go? And if history tells us anything, it's not always gonna go somewhere into some great, world changing betterment of humanity type of direction. It's gonna go to wherever some company figures out that they can make the most money, and damn everything else. As long as their stock goes up, okay, 15 million people got iced, but the stock went up 0.3% this quarter, so we're good. We're good. We can fight off the lawsuits and shit. We're okay. We can claim, plausible deniability, so we're good. That kind of shit. So yeah, I'm leery of new technologies, put it like that, to say the least, because as history has shown us, they don't always go in a direction that is the most beneficial to us. Sometimes almost always are, they're more convenient for us. They make us more convenient and make our lives more convenient, but they're not overall better for our lives. They don't make us smarter. They don't make us healthier. They don't make us more money. None of that shit. All they do is give us more time on the couch and make it easier for us to rot our minds with bullshit media and lies. So we'll see. We'll see where this whole cloning thing goes. Only time will tell what this technology will do for or to the human race. But I guess we'll find out, because they're moving forward with it. We'll see. It's on the horizon. And I'll leave you there with that. If you enjoyed this episode, please like, subscribe, and comment. If you'd like to support the channel by becoming a member, I'll leave that link down in the description, or you can head over to the channel page and become a member that way. If you'd like to support the channel directly, you can do so by clicking on that super thanks button down there. Or you can head over to Buy Me a Cup of Coffee and buy me a cup of coffee. I appreciate those of y'all who do that. Thank you very much. And I'll leave that link down in the description too. If you're interested in Gen X gear, we got some pretty cool stuff over there at Redbubble. Gen X Thanks and Gen X branded stuff. T-shirts, coffee mugs, stickers, all kinds of cool stuff over there. But I'll put that link down in the description also. If you can't or don't want to support the channel in any of those ways, you can always do so by sharing these videos on your social media. That helps out a hell of a lot. So thank you very much to those of you who do that. I sincerely appreciate it. If you have any ideas for future episodes of Gen X Things, please put those down in the comments, or you can email us, and the email is genxthinks@gmail.com. And as always, stay frosty, Gen X, and I'll see you on the next one.